Welcome in to DNVR Bets Daily. Oh man, it's good to be back. It's good to be rich. It's good to be a supporter of Colin Morikawa. You know, I'm gonna ride that until at least Thursday when they tee off again.
Oh, I think I'm taking advantage of Tiger being in this field and just hammering Colin Morikawa.
Dre. I don't want to get too deep into golf, but it's hard enough to put 4 good rounds of golf together.
I mean, when you're 66 or better in 3 of 4 days, like you think that magic just dissipates?
I don't know. I'm torn between riding the Morikawa train or finding another golfer who plays a similar style to him.
What? The next Morikawa? What? Let Colin do his thing. Let him.
So I want to know what they're doing to this course in these days that they have between this, because I know that the people who put on the Memorial Tournament do not like that Colin Morikawa won that tournament at 19 under. That's not. They don't like that. They don't want to see that this week. So I think they're going to let that rough grow all week. I think they might cut the greens a little faster and try and change this course up on them because they don't want to see a 19 under winner.
Crazy. Well, sorry. Colin's just that much of a stud. What was your favorite moment of Sunday?
Oh, dude. By far, my favorite moment of Sunday is him making the 25-footer on the first playoff hole. I screamed. I was on the golf course, and I screamed in someone's backswing. Thankfully, they hit a nice shot, so I didn't have to, go through the whole, oh, you should hit another one. I'm sorry. But, I mean, JT drains the 50-footer, and I it's over. I'm just like, there's no way. And then Morikawa's putt goes a little left, and then it goes a little right, and then it goes a little left, and it looks like it's going to stay left to the hole, and at the last second it dives right. I lost my you-know-what when that went in. That was incredible.
Well, and JT, coming this close to closing it out on 18.
Oh, my God. Well, and then he had it again. He had another chance on the second playoff hole. He missed it again. Same putt. I mean, what a freaking golf tournament. I don't want to harp too much on the weekend, but that was incredible golf. Yeah. And, as Henry kept pointing out to me, there's 157 golfers in that field, Andre. I talked about one. I only talked about one. The only golfer I mentioned all week.
I know. I had action on 2, and they were Hovland and Morikawa. So I've never rooted against the golfer the way I rooted against JT. We are forever enemies.
That hurt because I love JT. He's really fun to watch for me. I actually took some inspiration from him this weekend. I love how softly he swings his wedges. It just looks like he's just tossing it. He's just like, just go land on the green so ever so softly. So I was like, I gotta try that. That looks so effortless. And it works. It works.
Oh, get out. Wow, that's the most unexpected thing I've heard. I must say, since we didn't get to talk yesterday, the first weekend where I had some buyout regret here. I finally learned the importance of the buyout. Yeah.
I was kind of pigeonholed because I was in Montana and I couldn't use my app. So I didn't really have a choice but to ride on Morikawa. I have to say, though, it would have been sacrilegious after everything I said.
Yeah.
It would have been sacrilegious for me to take the buyout. And boy, I would have regretted that.
Oh.
They never got it higher than 9-1. I ended up taking home 28-1 or whatever, and 29-1. And they, at no point did they take that thing above 9-1. I'm like, I'm going to win this money. What are you guys doing? Give me 15-1 and I'll think about it.
Yeah, I got in on Hovland at the perfect time. Round 1 through his front 9, where it was just even. I got him at plus 6,600. That buyout was as high as 11x. During round 3.
Because 66, yes, it's twice as much,
right.
A little more than twice as much.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
Yeah.
hell of a weekend.
Crazy.
UFC, the chalk was kind of lame, but did we ever talk about the stomping on the toes? Did you talk about that all yesterday?
No.
Okay, where has that been? Because that seems like one of the most lethal moves in UFC.
That's it's an old school move in the in the clinch there against the fence. You stomp on the feet, but
Dude,
it's
do you know
not
how
as
much
many
that would
people do
hurt?
that. I mean, it hurt. Everything they're doing would really hurt, Ryan.
Well, I know, but I'm talking about like there's certain pains that you can't avoid. Like you can learn to take a punch in the face, but you have all these tiny little bones in your foot. Like I feel like it'd be super easy to break someone's foot doing that.
Yeah, I guess you're true. I was just like trying to do a little practice one, and I can't even go full. Like that's one of the parts of your body where you don't even want to do like a practice because
Like,
it just feels so sensitive.
have you ever like dropped your phone on your foot or anything? Like that hurts
Yeah.
so much.
Or like stubbed your toe.
Right. So
Yeah.
I'm saying if you are like this is non-negotiable. If you are ever facing a kickboxer, the first thing you do in the fight is you get them on the cage and you start stomping on their toes. Because when your toes have been stomped on, you don't really want to fling them into someone's bones.
That's not a bad strategy. Dan Hooker towards the end of that fight against Dustin Poirier was fighting with a broken foot or some broken toes. Yeah,
I think you could break a guy's toe in like one try stomping on their feet.
If you get a good stomp, you're not off.
And Usman stomped on his foot like 600 times.
Non-stop. I know.
I was like, this is almost maybe should be illegal.
We should say those two decisions that didn't go our way, Andrade and Holloway, were absolute BS.
Holloway, man, he really got the shaft.
Yeah. I was talking to our guy, Justin Michael. He had a parlay where he had Holloway at the distance or something, and that completely screwed him.
Yeah, but I mean, he always posts his bets. He bets like $1.
Hey, still no. I mean, I'm with you. Yeah, it wasn't a rough day like you were.
But hey, anyone,
right?
as long as you're in the game, it's still stressful.
Yeah.
Yeah, Holloway got screwed. And then did you see what happened yesterday with his post?
No.
So like his fans were like attacking people who said it was a good decision, and whatever happens, and he posted like, "Stop doing that. Like, life isn't fair. It's okay. Like, I'm fine. I'll go win the next one. Like, stop attacking people." So that made me like him more. He kind of looks like the UFC John Mayer.
That hair has upped his game a lot.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what I was getting, big John Mayer vibes. If John Mayer fought UFC.
The quarantine hair has done him well. Yeah, and he's one of the most gracious losers in all of combat sports. Per se.
Well, when you have 7 belts or whatever he has at home, it's easier to be a good loser.
That's true.
Speaking of UFC, a gift from the UFC gods. We're getting Wednesday night UFC, and there's names on this card that people have heard of. This isn't your Wednesday night fights on ESPN where it's like they're in some random country you've never heard of with a bunch of fighters you've never heard of. Like, there's some names on here.
Yep, you can say that again. There's some great fights. This main card is going to be really interesting, and there's a fun little added wager that DK has put on here for us for the UFC that I really like. And as we go through this card, I want us to think of, because it's the fight of the night prop they have. And, after every fight night or pay-per-view, Dana White at the end of it announces his fight of the night, and the two fighters get an extra $50K bonus there.
When do they announce that? I've never seen it announced. Like,
the post show.
If I'm going to bet on this, I need to be able to see the reveal.
I know you're always counting your money after the UFC fights, so you're not watching the post show, and now you'll have to. I've got an idea for us, Ryan, to open things up. We're gonna finally do the nickname game for you, and you're gonna tell us who you like nickname wise in 3 fights, and then we're gonna see if it stands the test once I give you the scouting reports.
Okay.
First one we're getting to is $50K against the Boston Finisher. Who do you like?
50K versus the Boston Finisher. Can you give me their full names? I need to see how it rings. I won't look at their odds. I need to see how the nickname fits the name.
But then you know who the fighters are. But you're saying I'm so oblivious to who these fighters are.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter. Okay, well, I wish I had it started from the main event then. It's Calvin, the Boston Brawler. What did I just say?
The Boston
Fighter. I screwed that up. The Boston Finisher. Calvin, the Boston Finisher. Cater against Dan 50K Ig.
Wouldn't it be 50K Ige? Because that rhymes.
It could be.
Okay. The Boston Finisher might be one of the very, very worst nicknames in all of UFC.
Okay. Wow. Huge play for the underdog here, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
What are we doing here?
I'm still just giving you.
Look at that. You search Boston Finisher, and the second thing that comes up is someone finishing the Boston Marathon.
Don't like that.
That is bad.
Yeah, you kind of have a point. The next one is El Terror against the Spartan.
I need the full name.
Full name? Okay. Jimmy El Terror Rivera or Cody the Spartan Stamen.
It's so easily El Terror.
Yeah, it really is. The full name, you're really right, changes everything.
Yes, exactly.
Because just based on name value, it's a little different. Okay. Abdul Judo Thunder Razak Al Hassan or yeah, that's a name full. I'm kind of proud of myself for even getting that out. Munir the Sniper Laziz.
Oh wow.
The Sniper.
What was the first nickname? You don't have to go through the whole name.
Because I can. The Judo Thunder.
Judo Thunder.
Judo Thunder is kind of cool.
Judo Thunder kind of slaps. I got in the second one. Run it back again.
The Sniper.
Yeah. The Sniper is too good. It's too good. I do like Judo Thunder, but it also kind of sounds like an 80s band.
Yeah.
So I'm going with the Sniper.
Okay. Fair enough.
Is that all we got there?
Yeah, I'm giving you 3. I mean, that's as much as I can.
So what did I go with in terms of favorites versus underdogs?
Well, you kind of went against all my picks. You went Dan Ig, right?
You went Ige. 50K Ige.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Jimmy Rivera, and you went with Laziz, who's making his UFC debut. Munir Laziz.
Oh, that
big, like some big dogs here, man.
How do you get a nickname before you even fight one?
What's funny is Tim Elliott, who's the most veteran fighter of all these guys. I looked all over Google, cannot find a nickname for this.
Tim Elliott.
Yeah, sure. Tim, make your mama proud, Elliott.
Come on, if your name's gonna be Tim Elliott, you at least have to have a nickname to make you sound like a badass.
I mean, I'm sure we'll find out when Bruce Buffer's screening.
They should call him the Tim Reaper.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, duh. They definitely should call him the Tim Reaper. My God, that's amazing. All right, nonsense aside, I hate Dan Ig. We've lost money on Dan Ige, whatever it is. We had him against Leonardo Barbosa. Frankly, I thought Barbosa won that fight. It went to a decision, and Ige kind of got it out.
No, he won the fight. We were betting against him. Oh, because we love Leandro Barbosa. Yeah. Okay. Well, that at least gives me some hope.
Yeah, I guess. Calvin Cater, though, is a monster, man.
We also lost money betting against Calvin Cater, I'm pretty sure.
No? Yeah, I think that was in the loaded 249, and he was like the last prelim. And maybe like Blades had said like, oh yeah, I like Cater, but we didn't put any.
It was because he was like plus or minus 350 or something.
Right. But he's,
okay,
I mean,
that makes sense.
He's as explosive as they come. He's like really exciting to watch in this 145 division. Ige could outlast him, and just he's got a good mix of grappling, striking. He's really tough, great chin, great cardio, and what have you. Calvin Kattar's a monster, man. I think Calvin Kattar comes out and kind of wipes the floor with this guy. This could be a candidate. There's another odds boost, which is any main card fight to end in the first 60 seconds. This and the Munir, the Judo Thunder against the Sniper are the two candidates for that. And you can get that at plus 400.
Plus 400. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't like that fight though. It's like, or that pick. It just goes so fast. Here's something else you should know. Little present under the tree from DraftKings this morning. I just got a 100% odds boost on any pick.
What? They told me that was just for me, Ryan. Finally, I thought to myself, one that's just for me.
You got that too, though.
I did, yeah.
So we're gonna have to. Maybe I might throw that on Wolves tomorrow.
Yeah, and the deadline is the 15th at midnight. So we've got till tomorrow to use it. But yeah, luckily we have a full card of UFC, EPL, and the Italian League. Yeah, you're right. I need to find out a wise way to use that.
So let me ask you this on Kattar.
Yeah.
We'll work our way backwards here.
Yeah.
Is there a bet here that intrigues you for him? Like, I mean, I guess here it is. Calvin Kattar by KO, TKO, or DQ, minus 115.
Yeah, it's tough to get like super great value on him because he's just such a favorite and everyone's kind of predicting he'll finish him, which with 5 rounds, I really like my chances.
But there you go. I mean, that's him for minus 115. That's good money.
Yep. Especially since the odds makers are telling you it seems pretty likely to us that that's how this goes down.
So I guess that's our pick, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
That's definitely the first move here on that fight. Love this Tim Elliott, Ryan, Pretty Boy, Benoit.
Benoit? You're going to be Pretty Boy. It sounds like you'd be Benoit.
There you go. We'll call him Benoit then. I like that better. Great on his feet. Great fist from Benoit, the dog here. Tim Elliott's been around forever and lost his last 3. Elliott's kind of
he's the favorite though.
He's the favorite. Benoit he's only had 1 fight since 2017, dealt with some injuries, but he's exactly the kind of fighter you and I tend to gravitate to on his feet, going to close that range, get in distance. And Elliott can be a little flashy. He's much more of a grappler, but he can get into these fights. He'll strike with better strikers and get his hands down to kind of be like bait you into getting them. But with a guy like Benoit, you might get caught. And Elliott's going to be looking for the submission. He's going to try and get you on the ground, get things a little funky, and try to submit you that way. And that's where he has the advantage. He's going to be the more technical grappler. But I think he's, unless he's showing some real added maturity, I like Benoit. I like the odds here. I like that you can get him at plus 100. And, we've had good success with fighters like this before. Good.
I really hate betting on someone called Pretty Boy. But you know what? He's your dog, and my style is a good combo for me.
There you go. Next fight is a great one. I'm not sure why this isn't the co-main, because Jimmy Rivera and Cody Stamann are 2 studs and 2 guys that fight very similarly. They're, again, that type of fighter we gravitate to, compact dudes that are going to go right at you, kind of bulldog types, built like tanks, and they're great grapplers as well. Rivera, 4 career losses, 3 of those have come in his last 4, and it's because he's fought the best of the best in that 135 division. Aljamain Sterling, Peter Yan, who just won the title there. So, he hasn't had the greatest run of form, but he's been tested by truly elite competition. Stamann's almost at that level. We're talking about 2 guys who in that bantamweight division are ranked 8th and 9th. Because this is a shorter notice fight, they're being allowed to fight at 145, 10 pounds heavier. So this is kind of on late notice, similar styles. And I think you're just in a good spot to take the value here on Stamann.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was leaning. Do we have nicknames on these guys?
Yeah, this was the Spartan against El Terror.
And El Terror is Rivera.
I know. There's a
Well,
chance that El Terror is slightly better at playing the game these two guys like to play. But I don't know. I think Stamen's more athletic and a little more powerful.
all
Well,
right.
Rivera's going to be a little more of a brawler, a little more volume.
I'm excited. I like Stamen here. We've seen him fight once before, so
Yes. Yeah, UFC 250, so pretty darn recent. And he could have dropped out of that fight. His brother had just passed recently. He still fought. Our listeners might remember kind of an emotional moment in the post-fight interview between him and Joe Rogan. Yeah. So the easy guy to root for. And Jimmy Rivera is tough as nails as well. So this should be a really fun fight. Torn between, will it go to the distance? Like, these guys are both so tough, they could really take it to the distance, or they could just be like, it could turn into such a brawl where there's like no way you get out of the first round and a half because they just force the issue so far. The grappling's what scares me, because the grappling's kind of what can drag fights on, right?
totally. That's what everyone was complaining about with Usman.
Yeah, for sure. Which I know you didn't mind at all.
Well, I obviously didn't mind it because I needed him to win to break even that night. But I thought it was I enjoy something I enjoy about sports is a well executed game plan.
Yeah,
if Usman goes out there and tries to out punch him, he's gonna lose.
Yes.
So he had to put a game plan together in a week, by the way, on how he's gonna beat Masvidal. And it obviously wasn't stand in the middle of the ring and have a punching contest. So I enjoyed the fact that he put together a sound game plan that he knew he could beat him with, and then went and executed the hell out of it. And according to two of the judges, won every round.
Right. And so, I think he felt Masvidal's power within that first minute and was like, okay, cool. Like,
screw this.
Clearly, this is the plan I need to go, and it was easy to execute. I think it kind of spoke volumes that Masvidal was able to go the full 5 too, though, on having just lost 20 pounds and everything. Like, that's crazy.
That was the most wrong I was about that whole fight. Is I was telling everyone, is how we had a little watch party over at the Chisholms. Nice. Shout out to Dean, Penny, Henry, his little sister Eddie. Great hospitality all
Eddie
weekend.
was there? What?
Oh yeah,
legend.
And they had some friends over, and I told everyone, this thing, if Masvidal is gonna win, and I guess I was right on that account. But I said, I actually said Masvidal has to go out there and try and end this in the first 2 rounds, and I think he still did. But I was kind of telling him it's gonna be a really exciting fight because he's just gonna be going for kill shots for the first 2 rounds of this. But Usman said, I'm not gonna let you do that, and it's genius. He knew what he was gonna try to do, and he put his ass against the cage and said, good luck trying to punch me from here.
Yep. Easy game plan to execute. That's the thing. I always talk myself into, this guy's going to push the issue. But if that guy who is going to push the issue just doesn't have it, then they go into survival mode a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's where, obviously, fighting is different from other sports. There's a survival mode more so than like, a tie does nothing for us to advance or something, so we got to go for broke and try to score a goal or something, so we're pulling the goal or some shit like that.
Speaking of, I'm blanking on the Aldo fight. Did you think they let it go too long?
If they did, by like a minute or like 20 seconds.
I realize the fighter is rarely in a non-submission scenario going to tell the ref to end the fight. But Aldo was actively moving around. He was doing everything you do to show the ref don't end the fight. I'm trying to get out of here. And so there was a lot of people who, for lack of better term, don't watch a lot of UFC, who thought they need to end this fight, Ali being one of them. And I just said, Aldo the ref is saying, hey, defend yourself, move around. And he was responding, and he's moving, and he's ducking, and he's squirreling around. And the ref is not going to end the fight if you're, following what he's telling you to do to keep the fight going. Yes, did he end up taking a beating because of it? Of course he did. And, you can make the argument, they need to protect the fighters more, but the ref did his job. He told Aldo, hey, if you want this fight to keep going, you're going to have to start moving around, defend yourself, do something. And so Aldo responded and tried to get out of it and kept moving around. And so I get it was tough to watch. I mean, this happens in UFC. Sometimes it's really tough to watch some guy who's just basically hanging on for dear life. But the ref, I thought the ref did a pretty good job. Maybe second too low because, he ended up, he gave up at a certain point.
Interesting, because I was watching it just at home, so Kate's not really paying attention, and it never even crossed my mind that it was going too far, because I saw it from your perspective of, the ref's in control. Clearly, he's a foot away, guys. I mean, he's communicating to him. He's just about touching him to make sure like he's with it and his muscles are engaged. So, I mean, it's tough, man. It's a tough game to play, but. I think if there's a way you go about it how that ref is, where you're communicating and you're saying, hey, you still in this? Show me a sign. This is what I need from you. And as long as he's doing that, you can take it about as far as they took that.
The one thing that I agreed with people on was they just said, hey, he was done. He was not going to win the fight. And it was in the third round. He was already losing the fight. He's on his back or he's on his chest, right. And so the ref could have made the decision, look, he has no chance of winning this fight. I'll save him a couple hits to the head. But that's not really the best decision to make.
No, and UFC, guys, it's a different game. We've seen it. Weird things can happen, a slip or something, and a fight can change in an instant, especially a title fight with that level of guys. So
we saw a guy get submitted from
right.
1 second he's got the full mount. A second later, he's submitted from the other guy's back.
Crazy. Yeah, that was wild. That was kind of a bad beat for us.
Yeah, you think of it, if a team's down 9-0 in the ninth inning, I realize this doesn't involve getting punched in the head, but the umpire, you have to at least give the other team a chance to show that they have some life left in them.
Yep.
So again, he responded to the ref when the ref. Is it a ref?
Gave him the cues. Yeah, it's a ref. Yeah, our referee is.
Yeah. Herb Dean, my guy. Love Herb Dean.
Herb Dean is great.
Okay, so quickly, we're on Stamen, Benoit, Ige. Any other? Or no, sorry, not Ige. Cater. Yeah. And Cater to win by KO, TKO, or DQ.
Yep.
Anything else you like on the card?
Maybe the fight I'm most excited about is Judo Thunder against the Sniper.
Right.
Judo Thunder, 11 career fights, 10 wins, all by finish. 11 fights. He's been in the ring a total of 30 minutes, Ryan.
Whoa.
11 fights. And 15 of those are in his one loss by split decision.
So he averages... in his wins under 2 minutes a fight.
Yeah. And that's why he would be a nice candidate for that 60 seconds or less.
Wow.
He is a beast, man. And just rising quickly. This is Razak Al Hassan. Excited to watch him. And this is another fight of the night candidate. I believe that's plus 1,400.
So fight of the night. Before we get any action on this, I need to know what constitutes a fight of the night. Does a flying knee in 3 seconds to fight of the night the fight that's going to last for years, or is the fight of the night going to be a knockdown drag out that ends with a knockout with 10 seconds left in the fight?
It's usually more of the the exciting brawl that goes a little longer, like that Josh Emmett. Gosh, who was the other guy? Yeah, you remember the fight, though, that we watched at the bar together. That was
that fight.
Yeah, I mean, that was fight of the year candidate. Forget the night. But, those are typically the all out. So, and rightfully you asked that because Laziz, the Sniper, UFC debut here, pretty big underdog. He's another one, though, with 9 wins. I believe like 7 of those are by finish. And he's a very, very crisp striker as well. I just don't think he has the goods. So I'm all in on Judo Thunder. I'm in on the finish. I'll sprinkle
you're
the
not
60
getting
seconds or
anything here.
less. That's the toughie here. That's
even you can't even get inside our pick number by picking him to win by finish. Still minus 215.
Yeah. Well, let's see if we can. Oh no,
Kind of like I've got
only.
a fight of the night feeling on this one. I kind of like it.
It just needs to drag out a little bit, right?
Right, but it's just two finishers going for finishes.
Mm-hmm.
That's what everyone likes. That's what Dana White loves.
Yes. Oh, yes. That's what he encourages people to do. That's exactly right.
So, how's that prop win again? You guess fight of the night, and you get what?
Fight of the night. Yeah, it's plus 1400 if this is declared the fight of the night.
And where do you bet that?
On UFC, you scroll all the way to the right, and you'll see it past round betting fight of the night.
Fight of the night. But that includes everything on the card.
Everything's in play. And we've seen some great prelims. Like, you remember the first fight of a prelim, guy just forces the KO with the leg kick.
Oh yeah.
That might have been a candidate for fight of the night that time. So really this would be a fun one to kind of sprinkle, especially if you were keyed in a little more on some of the prelim fights.
Yeah, why not? Let's sprinkle this one. I have a good feeling about this one.
And I know people are really high on Jack Shore, who's going to be the first prelim. So you never know. That's at plus 1600. And this Mo Bukauskas, the Lithuanian fighter, he's also at plus 1400 in his fight to be a fight of the night candidate. So,
okay, well, I think that gives us action on most of the main card, right?
Yep.
Any thoughts on Molly McCann and Talia Santos?
Intrigued by Molly McCann. She comes from this British division that's produced a ton of phenoms, and I don't know a ton about Santos either. And Santos has the big size advantage, so
maybe we'll watch that one just as unbiased fans.
I think that's a good call.
All right, so that's that. We got our UFC picks, and I can't believe we're doing UFC picks on a Tuesday. It makes me so happy.
Unreal.
And that leaves us with the Premier League, which has quite a large slate tomorrow. What do you got in the soccer game tomorrow?
Definitely Wolves at Burnley. Great value. What is it? -1.
-113. -113. Yeah,
phenomenal really value. Tottenham, I think, is comparably good value. And look, Tottenham has been a bit of a money pit at times this restart of the EPL. But at Newcastle, to get them at the value you're getting them in the -100s, under the -150s, that 132, that's really good value to me for Tottenham.
Yeah, it is.
And man, obviously, Man City, Bournemouth, you want to put City in some parlays, go for it. But remember, they're not exactly playing for anything anymore now that the Champions League ban has been lifted for them. They're really just trying to get to the end of the EPL. What they're focused on is the Champions League right now. So keep that in mind.
Arsenal, were we supposed to get a ruling on their ban or not?
We got that Monday. And so it's been lifted. So they will not be banned. They're still fined like £100 million, some pretty large figure, but they're not banned from the Champions League.
Bro, that's terrible news.
Yes, it is. But now this Leicester Man U race for the fourth spot has become pretty interesting because Leicester's falling apart. Wolves are getting screwed in all this. Yeah, Wolves are in a rough spot. I hate to say it, Ryan.
Dude, what? God, sports are so corrupt sometimes.
Yeah. Yes, they sure are. And then the big game of the weekend is Arsenal, who amazingly has been playing pretty well lately against Liverpool. Talk about teams where things really don't matter. Plus 290 for Arsenal. And the tie is plus 295. So you can basically, you could go Arsenal to win or tie, and you're basically getting that at plus 100.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well,
So,
I'm just taking Wolves on this one. Gotta say.
oh, you're staying away from Tottenham?
I'll ride Tottenham with you.
I'm taking Wolves, Tottenham. I've got a massive Serie A slate here. I went back to the drawing board. Too many bad picks over the weekend. Sampdoria at -107, really nice value against Cagliari, whose best player Niangolan won't be playing. Napoli at -137, really good value. Bologna keeps getting overrated after their upset of Inter. AC Milan against my guys at Parma. Really like the over 2.5 goals. You can get that at -175. Lazio's been in terrible form. All their big dogs are playing, though. You can get them at +104 against Udinese. Pretty nice value there. Juve, really bad form, and I was devastated by the fact that I called 2 losses in a row for them, and by an inch, I missed it. And I was this close to taking the buyout too, and I would have missed out on very little. So anyways, I'm kicking myself for that. But I think Juve gets back on the right form on the road against Sassuolo. Sassuolo typically
Real quick, Andre, before you finish off your picks, I just wanted to give a good shout out to DraftKings Sportsbook. Well, then we'll finish out what you had to say there. You can sign up now and get a bonus up to $1,000. That's right, DraftKings Sportsbook offering a bonus up to $1,000 when you sign up and enter the code DNVR only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Of course, you must be 21 or older, Colorado only. Bonus comprised of a first deposit bonus and a first bet match, each up to $500. The deposit bonus requires a 25x playthrough. Restrictions do apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. And if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. And real quick, while I'm on the topic of DraftKings Sportsbook, an amazing odds boost in the old Christmas tree today as I woke up. Tiger Woods to make the cut at Memorial this week, a place where he's won. Tiger Woods to make the cut +125. That's up from -367 or something.
Oof.
And not your normal $10 limit on this one. They'll let you bet $50 on this.
What? Oh, yeah. I didn't. That news is new to me. I didn't realize it was like that. Wow. Now that's interesting, especially because, those top 10 guys to make the cut. Yeah, -310. That's usually what you're looking at.
Right. Exactly. So obviously Tiger hasn't played in a while. He was striping it when he played with Phil and Peyton and Tom, but I think every pro golfer stripes it when there's no pressure. I think Phil felt pressure. I don't think Tiger felt any pressure. He was just like, I'm going to go play golf.
Now that I've watched Phil play a lot more golf and don't just know him as a guy who's won a couple majors and been like a few covers of Sports Illustrated, I realize that's not nearly as big of an accomplishment as it was.
What, winning that tournament?
Yeah, like Tiger doing his thing and being an easy favorite and like coming through. Like Phil Phil low-key kind of sucks. I hate
Tiger. Remember, he just hit every fairway.
The only guy. The rest of the field, they were spraying him left and right. It was a disaster.
Let me tell you this: if Tiger hits fairways like that this week, he will win the tournament.
By the way, you can bet on some fairways. There's Ryan, why'd you put me down this rabbit hole? There's a whole section of just Tiger related props, and you can bet him to hit the fairways. You can do all sorts of stuff. So
save it for tomorrow.
DraftKings Sportsbook. Just go there and thank us later. Sassuolo's really hot. So that's why you're getting Juve at just -165. Juve would normally be like a -300, but they've had 2 bad games in a row. Sassuolo's been playing really well, and Juve is on the quote-unquote road. So you're getting them at basically a bargain price here. And a team like Juve is just too talented to go against a team like Sassuolo and not get back on the right road. That it's just not happening. So -165, nice bet. Verona to tie +310, or for them to win outright +410. Either or, you're basically getting that in the +150 range once you hedge your bets on both sides. So yep, that's gonna do it with my Italian slate. I went 500 on the MLS last night. So
all right, well, MLS, I watched that Rapids game, and I think I'm good on the MLS. So that was enough for me.
Was it weird that it felt like the graphic of the coach being interviewed like screened the goalie on that.
The whole thing about that was weird. Now, I'm not like team, don't interview the people, like the coach during the game. Like, what is the coach really doing in a soccer game? Like,
Sure.
he might be like, hey, press up, like,
Yeah.
he doesn't have to like worry about his like substitution patterns or anything like that.
Yeah. Sure.
So a lot of people are whining about that, but not me. That was really tough watch. Our guy Hank, big NWSL fan, and I was watching over his shoulder a couple times because he just had it up on his phone, and I'm like, this seems more exciting.
Yeah, it's more wide open for sure.
Yeah.
It's like a quicker pace. Those girls really run. The NWSL is a pretty entertaining product.
And it has the one problem that men's soccer has solved, which is that not all of the best players play in the best division.
Right. Yeah.
Like, how absurd is it that the Premier League is the biggest best league, right?
Mm-hmm.
The best player in the world doesn't even play in that league.
Oh, you could argue the best 4 players in the world: Messi, Ronaldo, Mbappe, Neymar. They're all France or Spain or Italy. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's unacceptable. They got to figure out a way to change that.
And
the NWSL, like, all the stars from the World Cup all play in the NWSL.
It's true.
So
Matcha.
Soccer, maybe they need to create like the Super League, and I realize the Champions League is similar to that, but I'm talking about on a day-to-day basis. We need all of the best players in one league.
There's been talk of that, like creating basically the teams that are in the Champions League a league of their own, and I think it's terrible. It would ruin everything we have. So I couldn't be more against all the nonsense you just spewed. But that is the nice thing of the NWSL. Also, super physical. The NWSL. Those girls are more physical than like any sport but UFC or football, maybe.
Football.
To the point where by the time I was watching by the second half, I was like, they need to protect these stars. They're too physical. Protect the stars.
Well, and I think that's their angle, though. They want to be tougher than the guys, and they are.
Yeah, and more entertaining. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, I want to give MLS a chance, but heck, I haven't watched a game all year, and I went in on that game, and I know that RSL has kind of been the Rapids' kryptonite for a while here now, but geez, that was tough to watch. Yeah, I mean, I'd rather watch a UFC fighter, on their back than watch that.
It is oddly less painful sometimes than watching your soccer team get their butts kicked for a full 90 minutes.
Yeah, tough.
It's all right. Merciful. Yeah.
That's going to wrap it up for us today on DNVR Bets Daily. A long Tuesday show because there's a lot going on tomorrow. So make sure you get on to DraftKings Sportsbook and get your bets in, get those Tiger props going, that the one I just mentioned, whatever it is, make sure you get in there. But for now, it's going to wrap it up for us. Hope you guys have a great night.